this shock is from the 4S Kraton. There she is there, just sitting there like that. And as you can see, it is covered. It has leaked. There's no shock oil left in there at all. It doesn't handle very nice, doesn't jump very nice. It's a known fact that these leak, but there is a way round to sort this out, and we're going to jump straight into that right now. First we need to get this spring off of here. Well, let's give it a clean up so we can see what we're working with. I've given it a bit of a clean up, guys. A bit easier to handle. It's not so slippy. Not these spacers. Get rid of those. Unscrew this cap, guys. So get this cap off. Get that off. Now the spring should come out. There we go. Oh, there's another spacer on top, so keep them in order. But look at this. Look at this. It's like bear's just wiped its butt. So anyway, to get this out, look, this is empty. There's nothing in there at all. So what you do, you push this all the way in, then you feel it lock. And you want to unscrew it, basically. There we go. So we've unscrewed that. So I bought a little tub just in case there is bits. There is some stuff in there. No, it's empty. Apart from a couple of drops. There we go. So what I'll do, I'll let that drain out in there for a few minutes, and I'll get something to clean the shock bodies up a bit better. So now we've got this piece. We want to take the piston off here, so it's just undoing this little nut here. And we slide this off and try and get at the O-rings. Oh, it's loose anyway. Lovely, that's handy. That's work for me. So we need to get into here where the O-rings sit, and then we can put some green slime on. Now this is like $5, that's about £5, so it's probably about $6, $7. Let's focus on it because it's so useless. And a lot of racers use this to keep shocks from leaking. And I've seen a lot of videos online saying that this is the stuff to use, but I've also got another little hack to help stop these leaking, so stay tuned. So after a little mishap with a screwdriver into my thumb, I figured this out off camera. Basically it's just a little cap that goes on top. So that's the bottom of the shock, end of the shock, that's the top end where the O-rings go. So we need to now just try and lever that out, I believe, and then we can get to the O-rings. Oh, there's one O-ring. A spacer. Got a little spacer in there. Right, so it come out, you sod. We've got a spacer. There we go, we've got two O-rings in there. So this is to cover, basically I think these shocks leak through the O-rings and around the threads, because there's an awful lot of fluid around the threads. So we're going to put some PTFE tape in there, wrap that up before we put it all back together when we fill the shocks back up. So let's clean up these O-rings and clean up inside there. Good. So what you want to do is get your green slime and you want to put it down inside that hole, just in there on the lip, just a little bit. It comes out quite gooey, so just pull it in there, doesn't matter if it's a bit messy. Just helps seat the O-ring. Now you want to put your O-ring back in and just poke that down gently. Don't do it too aggressively, don't split it. Just gently put that in there. Okay. Right, that's down at the bottom. And what I'm going to do is pop some more green slime in there. Okay, now we want the spacer back in. Bit more green slime, just poke that down. So just put a nice little bit. You mainly want it around the hole, basically, so just get it in there, spread it in. I mean, this is a basher, it's not a race heart, it doesn't really matter how precise I am about all this. if this was a racer, and there's a lot of racers that use specifically this for this job. So I'll put the other O-ring back on, right, and then we'll do another little layer of the slime. Right, we'll just muck that in there. Nothing, it doesn't have to be, like I say, it's just a basher, it's nothing special at all. So that you can see as it's there, there's been a seal created. So it's, you know, it's kind of like, let's see if I can get it to focus for you. So now what we want is this back, put the shaft back through. You can see the slime's coming back out there slightly. So we'll put this shaft back through. Careful not to nick the O-rings on the way down. So they all stayed in there, they didn't move. So some of this has come out, let's just smear it back in. No, it won't hurt it at all. If you're not a serious racer and you're just bashing, this is the hack you need to do. So then that cap just literally clips back on. That is it, simple as that. Now you've sealed up the O-ring size. Now, what I do now, PTFE tape. So it's like a plumber's tape. And what I do, I wrap this around the threads of here. So I can, basically, there is an O-ring down the bottom here, but it's very small, very little. I can actually see a little split in it. But so wrapping around the tape, it will make it harder to thread in, but it will create a seal from here rather than here. So basically oil can come down to as far as this seal. So just seal it up there and we should be all right. So all I want to do is put a couple of layers. I've done this to one shock already on the K4. And I've also done it to all my X-Max shocks because I put the Pro Line heavy duty shocks in, shock shafts in. And they leak like a sieve. And ever since I've done this, they've not leaked a drop out. So let's try and keep it nice there. Hopefully I'm in shot. Hopefully I'm focusing. So we just need that, and I'd say that's about enough. What we need to do now, we need to put the piston back on, washer side down, and then we need to put a nut nylock back on. Right, okay, another thing, I'm probably going to get swore at for this. I only have 800 CST. So it's not the right one for this car by a long mile, but it will do for what I'm using the car for. You know, it's just a basher. It's one of my favourite bashers at the moment. It does so well out on the yeah, it does extremely well. It handles the abuse. This is my most favourite Arrma, to be honest with you. I'm looking forward to seeing what the V2 one comes out like in the spring. So I'm just going to fill this up to the bottom of the threads, guys. We're just at the bottom of the thread, so what I'll do, I normally give it a few taps. Get the air bubbles to come to the top. And then what I'll do, I'll leave that sitting upright until all the bubbles pop out for 5 minutes. Don't rush it, it's not worth rushing it. And then we'll put it back together, so I'll be back with you in a split second. Right, so this has been sat for 5 minutes. I can't see any air bubbles in there. And just now to insert the piston back in to the shock body. Just be careful with the threads, you want to get that nice and straight. The PTFE tape may put it offline very slightly, so just be careful when you're doing this bit, guys. You can already feel it biting, so you know there's going to be a better seal than there was before. It's going to leak some out the sides, but it's because I've overfilled it, so don't panic, just get a cloth, wipe it up. Yeah, I've overfilled it, that's fine, you know, I don't mind. I know there's enough in there now. All we need to do is put the spring back on. I've given that a little clean off camera. It's extend the shock a bit so I can work easier. We want this bit on here, so want the ring holder there, that holds the ring, the spring in place, the spring holder. Then we want this bit, and we can slide these bits on now if you can hold it. So I'm not going to. I'm going to pop the cap back on. This spring retainer here. You don't need to tighten that up too tight. We'll just leave enough space for these to flick over. Get that nice and level. There we go. One nice shock rebuilt. Hopefully no more leaks. I'm going to give it a spray with some degreaser. Give it all a wipe down so if there is any leaks I can spot them again. Hopefully I've saved you guys a few quid. I've done this on one shock. I'll show you. I've got a small, not a rebuild video, but must do mods for the K4 because I love this truck. It's just so much fun. No matter where you take it, it's just so much fun. So I'm going to do a little series of mods that I'm going to do. I've just broke my ESC if you watched the previous video. So the ESC died, but I've got my XTM rail which has got a Max 10 setup in it, so I'm going to give that a whirl in there and I'm going to show you how to fit that as well, and also new drive shafts for the rear end because I've had one pop off. Now when they start, once you've had it go once, it will continue to go, and it's a fiddly job, especially when out in the field and it's too fiddly to mess about with out in the field, you know. Steve's done it for me a couple of times. So it's just, yeah, so I've got some metal drive shafts and they were really cheap. So yeah, stay tuned for the next one and I shall get that out as soon as possible. I'm going to start recording that right away. Okay, thanks for watching guys. Peace, love, RCs, and I'll catch you in the next one.